Hi everybody, this is the Planet Earth here, and today I'm going to be talking about anxiety disorder today, and going into every detail about it for at least the next hour. I'm going to start off with the basics of how I grew up, and telling you how I grew up may or may not give you a better understanding as to why I suffer from anxiety disorder, and why that millions of people tend to suffer from anxiety disorder for no reason. So, here we go. My anxiety disorder didn't start up until about 2007 when I had my first panic attack. But I think I've had more panic attacks when I was a child. But I didn't actually know what a panic attack was. But I used to go to the bathrooms inside the elementary and middle school, and I would cry for about 20 to 30 minutes straight suddenly, and then I'd be fine. I didn't know what a panic attack was. I didn't know what anxiety was. So I might have been having panic attacks younger than before 2007, and I think I had the panic. Stop honking. I'm trying to make a video here. I'll even fucking turn the air conditioner up so you don't have to hear that. So anyways, here's what happened. Here's what's gonna happen. So when I was growing up, I used to cry in the bathrooms because I never knew what anxiety was, but I could feel my heart going really fast for no reason. And I think I contributed some of it to what happened to me as a child. I contributed some of it maybe to my medication that I was taking, which was Adderall, which is a anti-ADHD medication. And, you know, it being an anti-ADHD medication, I don't know if even having ADHD was a valid thing, or maybe I was just a happy kid at one point. Maybe that's what the problem was. These doctors prescribed these medications, but maybe I was just an overly happy kid at one point in my life. And then I remember taking Adderall and I'd be fucking focused, but it'd be too much focus, and it would scare me actually, and then I would cry and I would freak out, and I don't know why. And I did some very terrible things when I was a child, you know? I did bad things, and I don't know why I did it. So I ended up living, I guess you could say, until 2007. I was taking medication called Depakote, which is an anti-seizure medication / mood stabilizer medication. And Depakote is a medication that, you know, it belongs to the class of anti-seizure and it helps with bipolar mood problems that are up and down, something that my aunt needs to take, but she doesn't take them. But anyways, about a month, well, it started in a mental hospital actually. I had a break, the panic attack started, and then it got worse from there. So, what happened was, dude, why are you trying to hurt people, you stupid person from Indiana? I'll remember your license plate, buddy. If you ever hurt anybody, I'll remember your license plate. You're going way up too close to them. Anyways, so my first panic attack happened in an apartment complex back in Texas, and I was laying down, and this is before I became like really mental, and I had terrible thoughts. This was like right before everything just turned sour in my life. Before that moment in my life, before that exact moment of a panic attack, my life was normal. I was a normal person before this one specific panic attack. I mean, this was the mother of panic attacks. I'd never experienced anything like this before. But I'll give you an example. Before I had that panic attack, I was on no medication. I was fine mentally. I had no racing thoughts. I had no problems. I had no depression. Maybe a little bit of it because of the childhood trauma that I had. But it didn't really bother me to the point where I needed medication. And since I didn't need the medication, it was like a, how do you say? It was a crutch. Right. So, here's what happened. 5 months before that panic attack, I was fine. I remember it. I remember those days, I can barely remember them now, but I do remember the days when I didn't have anxiety disorder, and it was so beautiful. I remember when I could go to the park, I could go to the zoo, I could go with my uncle, I could go do things, I could go out. I never had any major problems with my mood. My mood was stable as hell. And then one day, just out of nowhere, out of the blue, I was watching a TV movie. It was a movie. I was watching a movie. All of a sudden, I started thinking these weird thoughts, and I was like, what's going on here? Then all of a sudden, my heart started to race. And I was like, what happened? What's going on? So I'm like, I couldn't breathe. I'm only like, I don't remember how old I was at that point now. I mean, 26 minus 2007. I don't know. I don't remember how old I was, but that's when it started. That's when everything turned and took for the South. Everything just, my whole life was ruined. It was ruined at that point. And it started from there. It started from that exact moment in my life where I realized, what the fuck is going on here? And so what ended up happening is, I was like, Dad, I called my dad. I didn't call 911 because I didn't know what it was. And my dad was at work, and at the point, we didn't have any car, so he had to come on a bus. So what ended up happening was, I called my dad. I said, Dad, something is going on with me. My heart's racing. I don't know what's going on with me. Anyways, my dad came as fast as he could back home. He actually took a work truck, because he had to take the work truck and come to find out what was going on with me. He was freaking out. I was freaking out. I didn't know what was going on. My heart rate was extremely high for being a child. I don't think I was an adult back then. No, I wasn't. And my heart rate was really fast. My blood pressure must have been high. And so he decided to dial 911. So the ambulance came, or as they say in the Midwest, squad came, and they checked me out, and they said his pulse is really, really high. I think we need to take him in. And so they took me in the hospital, they checked me out, and by that time I was already starting to feel better. And that was it. It was over. And I was like, what happened? And they checked my vitals, they checked my blood, they did CBC because they were concerned, why is a kid having this kind of high of a pulse, like 150, 160 beats per minute? And my shortness of breath, and I was pale and flushed. I didn't know what was going on with me. And I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened to me at that point. I don't know what happened to me. All I know is after that, about 7 weeks later, I had another panic attack. I called 911. This time my dad said if I have another one to call. They didn't say it was a panic attack. They just said they don't know what it was. Undiagnosed. That's what it meant. So they had an undiagnosis for me. They had no diagnosis, actually. That's what it was. They didn't have a diagnosis for me. And so I didn't know what it was. And so I was like, it could have just been, maybe I didn't drink enough water. That's what I actually thought. You know, maybe I just didn't drink enough water. That's what my dad thought too. So I was like, okay, I'll drink a couple more glasses of water each day, because I had been playing a lot of computer games in my life before that. Like RuneScape. I can go on RuneScape and play for like 24 hours straight, and I wasn't taking any medication at the point. And then all of a sudden, about 6 or 7 weeks later, I had another panic attack. This one was even worse. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't think clearly. The lights were bothering me. So I dialed 911, and they took me in the ambulance or squad, wherever you're from, depending on what part of the country you're from. And they admitted me overnight because they were concerned that I might have an actual heart rhythm disorder now. I'm like, I'm only young, and they're putting me in the pediatrics unit. I don't know what I did wrong. And so they admitted me overnight, and after my pulse went down, it was back to normal. And that was it. It was over. And after that, I don't know, man. After that, they said, I think that your son may be having, I remember this conversation very well. I think your son is having an anxiety problem. My dad said, what is anxiety? He said he's had anxiety in the past, but nothing like this. And so my dad said, well, why don't I take him to a psychiatrist? And that's what happened. And then I got on a medication called Depakote and, what was it? Depakote and Risperidone. Yes, it was Depakote and Risperidone. I took those 2 medications. And they were very small dose. I think the Depakote was like 300 milligrams. Risperidone was 1 milligram. And I took those medications. I started feeling very ugly over the next few weeks. I was feeling very ugly, by the way. I felt very ugly, and I didn't know what was going on with me. So I ended up telling my dad I just felt ugly on those medications. So I went back to the psychiatrist, and the psychiatrist ended up giving me Adderall again, even though I had taken it when I was a child. But they stopped me after they realized it wasn't ADHD. It was just a kid that was having a good time. And I personally believe that the medication that I was taking as a child ruined my upbringing and ruined my brain a little bit, in the sense of it may have changed some chemistry. The Adderall may have changed my chemistry as a child, because you have to remember that when you're still developing, you have to remember that you're still developing, you're growing, you're still developing, and you're putting all these harmful medications into your body as a child. And I think that caused my anxiety disorder to happen when I was older. Because my dad never took any medications as a child. My aunt never took any medications as a child. My whole family never took any medications as kids. And they seemed to be okay, except my aunt had bipolar, but her bipolar didn't come out until after Grandma died. But she was fine for all of those years. All of those years. She was completely fine. Yes, I am. She was completely fine until Grandma died. Her trigger must have been her mom dying. That was her trigger. My trigger, I don't know what my trigger was. Just one day out of nowhere. Ever since then, when I was on Depakote, I was suicidal. I kept calling 911. I was perfectly fine until I started taking all these antipsychotic medications that they gave me as a child, as a growing adult. As a growing teenager. I'm thinking that taking all of these medications when I was normal at one point made me who I am today. It made me an anxious person. It made me a very anxious person. I have panic attacks a lot. And I have really bad anxiety disorder. And I think the reason is because of what I took as a child, and the trauma I had as a child, and the situation, the fuck out of the road, you idiot. Trying to kill yourself? And also, I think the problem with this is I was taking these medications for years without benzodiazepines, right? So one day, I got admitted to a state hospital, and I will admit this to you. Guys, if you're there, please press the like button. I would very well appreciate your likes. It really makes me happy, and it makes me want to do more videos. Anyways, it makes me happy, and it makes me want to do more videos about anxiety and driving and whatnot. And I really do appreciate you guys very much. And I love you guys all equally. And I hope for the best for all of you. Anyways, now, like I said, your tire's popping, buddy. Get away from me, buddy. Hey. Dude, your tire's about to go, dude. Why do I keep honking? Anyways, so what happened was I ended up having the most severe anxiety attack of my childhood and teenagerhood. It happened in 2008, actually. No, it was 2008. So I got admitted to a state hospital because of my problems with depression and my problems with anxiety. So I actually got admitted to a psychiatric state hospital because they couldn't handle me in a regular hospital, a regular psychiatric ward unit hospital. So I got admitted to a state hospital. I was having so many anxiety attacks. I could barely lift my legs. I could barely lift my hands because they had me on Haldol. No, was it Haldol? No, it was Thorazine, a very strong antipsychotic medication. It was one of the strongest antipsychotics you could ever have, and they put my poor ass on it. And they forced it on me, by the way, through injection. And I did not request that. I didn't request that medication. I always refused it, but the doctor always overrid and forced it on me. So I ended up having more panic attacks, and then once that Thorazine kicked in, I was just like, I literally was doing this as a teenager for months in a psychiatric unit. I was slobbering all over myself. I remember that. Barely, but I remember that. For like 4 months straight. But then the doctor one day said, wait a second. Do you feel like hurting yourself? Does it get... He asked me this question, and I want you guys to know this. He asked me this question, do you feel like you want to hurt yourself? Or do you feel like you only want to hurt yourself when you feel anxious about something? I said, I only feel this way because I am so anxious, I get depressed. I told him that exact statement. And he was thinking like, wait a second. You're not psychotic. You don't show psychotic features. You are, in a sense, of anxious. And this is what the doctor told me after 4 months of studying me. He was trying to figure out if I was psychotic, or that's pretty much it. He just wanted to know if I was psychotic or not. But he said, do you hear voices? I said, occasionally, and that was because of the medication, by the way. The medication made me hear that shit, and I was getting worse. I was coming to the point where I wouldn't even leave my room. And then I acted out, and I started to try to break things inside the mental hospital because I couldn't take the anxiety anymore. I just couldn't take it anymore. I couldn't take the anxiety anymore. Alright, anyways. I couldn't take the anxiety anymore. Whoops. And I couldn't take the anxiety anymore. So what happened was the doctor looked at me very carefully and said, I think you may have an anxiety disorder. And so when the doctor realized that I might actually be having an anxiety disorder, he ordered, instead of Thorazine, he said, I'm going to stop you on this medication, this Thorazine, and I'm going to take lorazepam. And so he gave me an injection of lorazepam. Within 30 minutes, I was as calm as hell. I felt normal. I felt myself again. And that's where the lorazepam problem kicked in. My problem with my body stopped when that lorazepam kicked in. That lorazepam kicked in back in 2007 or 8. And what's funny is, I remember that injection. I remember them saying, to bend over or, put it up the gluteus maximus, okay, if you want to get all technical up in here. Anyways, because of the gluteus maximus, they injected it into me, and within, like I said, 30-40 minutes, man, I was feeling myself after years of suffering from suicidal ideation and depression. I never had those thoughts before. The medication made me that way. And then my anxiety kicked on and made me feel suicidal, even though I really wasn't suicidal. Isn't that amazing what the anxiety can do to you? Anxiety can manifest itself. It can turn to depression. It can turn to this drama. It can turn to it. I didn't realize this, but it can. It can manifest itself even as bipolar disorder. As weird as it sounds. If you're anxious, you're angry. If you're anxious, you're sad. I realize this connection now. I realize it. I didn't realize it before. Now I do. And so, ever since then, ever since I realized this, that's the problem. Okay? This is the problem that has going on for years. I built up a tolerance to lorazepam. I've been taking it for years. I've been taking it since 2010 vigorously. I remember it used to be only take it as needed. And it was like 0.25. Dude, I remember taking it as 0.25 milligrams. It was a 0.2. I was 0.5 milligrams. Take it as needed daily, if you wanted to. You didn't have to take it. So what ended up happening was, for years I was suffering from panic attacks and anxiety attacks. I got admitted to the hospital thousands of times. Finally, one doctor finally spoke up for me and said, "You have an anxiety disorder. I have never seen this severe. Are you really this bad?" And I said, "Yes, I am. Why doesn't nobody listen to me?" "How many times have you been in the ER room this year?" I said, "Over 40. What the hell?" And okay, so, all right, let me put the camera here so I don't stop honking it. I don't want to get like road rage. Anyways, the doctor said, "I see what the problem is. You have a really bad anxiety disorder. How you developed it, I don't know, but I realize how bad your anxiety disorder is now, and you need to get it addressed immediately." So he said, "I'm going to give you lorazepam, 1 milligram, take it as needed. When you feel an anxiety attack coming on, please take the pill." I said, "Okay, I will. And so I did. So I did that. And I took the pill, and my life was almost starting to become more normal. And then that's when shit hit the fan for some reason. I became physically dependent on the medication. My anxiety was way worse before I was taking lorazepam, by the way. It was 10,000 times worse. It was shitty. I felt terrible. I couldn't focus. At least with the medication, I can do some focusing. But before that, it was way worse. It was way worse. And no, I'm not on disability. And so what happened was, I used to be on disability. Well, not no more. So what happened is I finally realized that when I think about it the most, I realize that everybody suffers from this anxiety disorder. Everybody watching this is suffering from anxiety. Everybody that watches these videos suffer from anxiety. You know, I mean, I would say at least 90% of the viewers, of 15 viewers, that these people suffer from anxiety disorder, but I don't know why. And now that I realize this, I realize that I'm not the only one. But I seem to notice a generalization. I seem to notice that our anxieties might be linked to ADHD and ADD, and if we were traumatized as a child when we were growing up. I think that's the link. I would definitely say that would be the link. And I think that's our problem. Our problem is we have become very dependent on these benzodiazepines, which is true. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything with you guys. And it's made my anxiety better, but then when you withdraw from the anxiety, it gets worse than what you had before. And I don't understand that. That I don't understand. And I'm sorry if the camera's breaking up or skipping, but the signal, Verizon doesn't have the best service in the rich areas of Florida. And that's because they don't like... No, Verizon's never slowed me down. Like I said, though... Hold on, let me get back to a good area with coverage. Because it seems like Verizon sucks in very bad foliage areas. When there's a lot of foliage, the coverage gets really bad here. So let me go... Oh yeah, it's only one bar. Alright. Gabapentin. Jesus has Verizon. Relax there, 67 Chevy. Alright guys, so anyways, listen. So, my conclusion is, I don't have a driving job, I have a government job. My conclusion is, and what I've come to realize, is that the only situation and the only way to fix anything is, unfortunately, a lot of people here like me and you guys, we suffer from one of the most debilitating non-medical problem, or medical problems, but non-emergency death problems on the planet. There is nothing more severe and more debilitating than an anxiety disorder, especially if it's chronic. And the panic attacks and the high heart racing and the palpitations. Why do we get them? Why can't we not get them? And why is there no cure? That's one thing I don't understand. Why can't there be a cure to whatever we're suffering from? There's days where I have really good days, and then there's just days, man, where my anxiety is like 1,000 times worse than it should be. And I don't know why. I don't understand it, guys. I'm in a rich neighborhood, and so since I'm in Coral Gables, and is it Coral Gables? I think it's Coral Gables, yeah. So anyways, the coverage is really bad here because of all the foliage. LTE has a lot of penetration problems with all this foliage. You should see Sprint though. Sprint's way worse. Oh shit, I went down the wrong street. Damn it. Oh well. Whoa! Hey, while you're watching this, look at this. Wow, look how beautiful. I love their front lawn. Look how nice. Look at that. I love all the palm trees in their front yard. Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? I love those palm trees. Verizon's the best. I don't care what you say. Even if you have 2 bars, it's still better than Sprint. 1 bar, it's still better than Sprint. Pfft. Especially if you're in an open area and you only have 1 bar. Way better than Sprint. But like I said though, guys, why is it that the doctors don't understand us? That's the problem I want to know. Is why don't the doctors understand us and what we suffer from? What is up with that anyway? You know what I mean though? Like, why do they make us suffer? Like, why? Why do they give you all these different medications that you probably don't even need? You don't need all these different medications. The only medication that I take are 2 medications. I take lorazepam, and then I just take Zoloft, and I'm very fine with it. I don't seem to have any issues with Zoloft. I don't seem to have any. I noticed that richer areas tend to have problems with Verizon services, AT&T, Sprint, and T-Mobile, but that's because of the foliage. A lot of rich areas, they like to use a lot of foliage, and so all that foliage will just block LTE signals. Very rich neighborhoods will have a lot of foliage, especially in Florida. I've noticed that. Like, they like to be surrounded by a lot of foliage. I don't personally, because it makes mosquitoes worse. I'd rather live like in an open area, non-forested area that's rich, but non-forested area. I don't like areas like this. Look, like, I don't like to live in areas like this shit. See, it's all foliage. I mean, it's nice, but I don't like it, because if there's like a major hurricane, then you have to break all these trees, and all these trees will break on you, and then it's shit. But anxiety disorder, it's no fun, guys. It really is no fun. And I'm sorry to anybody who suffers from it. I'm very sorry that you guys suffer from it. I'm sorry that every day some of you people have to suffer from it so badly, and I don't know why. And I don't understand it. But I hope all of you guys get better. I hope you have bright futures. But guys, if you have a really bad anxiety disorder, please, for the love of God, just try a benzodiazepine, because it might help. It might. I'm not saying it will, but it might. For short-term problems. But like I said though, guys, man, this is such a rich neighborhood. Fuck, I love rich neighborhoods though. What am I doing? Ah, shit, I went the wrong way. Anyways, guys, listen. If you suffer from anxiety like I do, Do you actually suffer from anxiety, or do you get the palpitations? You know what the scariest feeling is? Do you guys ever get unwanted thoughts? Like, I'm gonna die, the world's gonna end, like those kind of stupid thoughts with the anxiety disorder? Yes or no? Yes or no? I want you guys to type it if you do. $67 Chev, stop wasting your lorazepam. You never know if you're gonna need it. So weird. It's a weird rich neighborhood. Do you guys ever get unwanted thoughts though? Yes or no? Just unwanted thoughts in general. Okay, yeah. Do you guys ever get better temporarily when... Let me ask you a question. Do you guys ever feel better when you take medication like a benzo? Do you actually ever feel better for the day? Yes or no? That I need to know. I want to know. All of you type in text. If you guys taken a benzo and all of a sudden your anxiety's good and you feel normal. You feel almost completely normal, like a normal human again. But why is it only temporary? Type yes if you've taken a benzodiazepine and it's made you feel better. Type yes in text, please. Please do it, guys, please. All of you. I know there's 15 people watching, and I know at least 7 or 8 of you have an account with YouTube. So please, if you guys can say it. I feel better for a few hours, and then I get terrible hangovers. And hangovers? Are you drinking alcohol? Because I don't get hangovers with Ativan. I never have. What time is it? 7:14. Okay, here it is. That's a big ass house. Jesus Christ, that's a big ass house. Alright, I'm out. Okay, I'm here. I'll wait for my girlfriend to get out. My fiance. Alright, I'm back. I'm here. Okay. Anyways, listen. Alright, so you said you take Seroquel? Hey, this is where my fiance works. I'll just show you the background here. Look how nice it is. She makes a lot of money. She makes a lot of money doing these jobs for people. Anyways, listen. So, with anxiety, I need to know, what do you guys feel? What is the feeling that you guys get, though? Like, what is the actual feeling? Let me just wipe my face off here a little bit. Oh. Sorry, I was eating Doritos earlier. I'm very sorry about that. I was eating Doritos. Do I have any wipes? Damn it. Damn it. What kind of McDonald's don't give you fucking napkins? But anyways, guys, listen. If you suffer from anxiety disorder, please get help. Please get yourself some help. Bailey, let me ask you a question, though. Trazodone, I'll never take Trazodone. That medication messed me up. And you need to get away. Yeah, so you flee. You're a fighter-flighter. So you're a flighter. You don't fight. You flight. I can understand that. I understand that very much. But I hope this will help. I hope this will help people in their anxiety disorders. I hope this video will help. Or this live stream, actually. And I really do hope it helps. Because people don't need to be suffering from the anxiety disorder. And it sucks that every day we can't focus as humans. Let me say something. Like, I'll give you an example. We as humans that suffer from anxiety, we're not allowed to have fun in our lives. You know, it's like our brain is restricted for no reason, and we don't know why. Like, we don't understand why. It just happens. You know, we don't really understand why, but it happens. But we don't understand why, though. It's like, why does it happen? Why does it have to happen to me? That's why we always ask our questions. We always do, don't we? Think about it. We're always asking ourselves this question as to why do we suffer from it? We don't even know why. And they tell us to go out. They tell us to feel. They tell us to not be anxious. They tell us to go out and do stuff. But our brain won't let us. It won't let us, man. You get real anxious. You can't focus. You can't relax at other people's houses. You feel restricted. And when you're driving, you always think you're going to crash at every single second. Well, at least I do. And that's something that we can't control. In a way, Bailey, yes. But I don't think there is a cure for this. I don't think that there's an actual cure. Because every time I open the door, like if I open this door, like it makes me anxious. Like I think, what if a bee comes in and stings me and I'm allergic to it? Who thinks like that? Come on, who thinks like that? A normal person would have opened the windows already and just chilled back. Think about that for a second, though. When you actually think about it, that's how it would have been. Or let's say I'm next to this palm tree, right? I'm next to this freaking palm tree, and my anxiety is it's gonna fall on me. You know? But you see what I'm saying, though? That's our anxiety. We're always thinking the worst for no apparent reason. Why? Or what if the car doesn't start? Or what if I drive to go to a vacation spot and the car breaks down? What if the transmission goes out? What if the alternators? Our brain is constantly bringing up these scenarios like it is the actual end of the world. Do you see what I'm saying, though? It brings up scenarios for no reason. Why does that happen? Why do we suffer? Why do we keep bringing up these scenarios in our brains that we can't seem to control? You know what I mean? Like, okay, it's like, let me give you an example. Let me just give you an example. I'll give you an example, right? Let me show you. Alright. So, you look at the speedometer. Look at the speedometer, right? Okay, I get paranoid. And not paranoid in the way of paranoia, but I get scared. I'm like, what if that check engine light... Like, what if that check engine light don't come back or comes back on? Like, what if it comes on after I start the car? I actually worry about that check engine light. I worry about the oil light. I worry about the battery light for no reason. No reason at all do I think like that, you know? I don't understand why I get worried about the oil light, or why I get worried about the check engine light, or why I get worried about the battery light. It just happens, and I don't understand why. I can't help like Kindingo. He can only help himself at this point. I cannot help him. I've told you multiple times. Stop asking me to help him. I've tried. I've called the embassy of the Australia. I've called multiple numbers in Australia, okay? I'm also OCD, 1089, and that's my problem. I have OCD, and if I see a check engine light, I want that problem fixed now, not later. That's how I am. I can't have a check engine light. I have to figure out what the problem is. That makes my anxiety worse. That's what our problem is, and I don't understand why. Like, I get worried about everything. I worry about every single thing. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm just saying, in general, guys, I worry about the smallest things. Look, I worry about financial problems. Sometimes I worry about what people think of me. I'm not perfect. You know? I'm not a perfect person. I'm not perfect. I can't make everybody happy. I can't make everybody happy, and it makes me sad. I can't make everybody happy. It makes me sad. I can't make everybody happy. I can't make everybody happy. I can't. And I want to, but I can't. Okay, here's one thing that I've come to realize about accepting death. Sometimes people with anxiety can still accept it, but while it feels like it's happening during an anxiety attack, you don't want to die. And I've come to realize that too. And it's impossible to help people. It's impossible. Like, I don't get it, but it's impossible to help people, all people. It's like my falling out with my friend, former friend. He never cared about me. He only cared about himself. He's selfish. He doesn't care about other people. And that's it. He just doesn't care about other people. He cares about himself. And being with a selfish person, you kind of realize you have to leave that situation. You have to just set it behind you and move on from that. I've also realized that now. I won't live with selfish people. I've come down and I've locked that down for the rest of my life. Anybody who is selfish, I won't live with them. I won't be near them. I won't communicate with them anymore. And that's part of the problem. I was never a selfish person, and I always invited him to go with me on trips. Like, when I went to New York City, I offered to take him with me. When I went to Toronto, I had to force him to go to Toronto with me. But, like I said, though, I don't know, focusing on myself I consider it to be kind of selfish. She is extremely understanding, and that's what I needed in my life, was somebody who could understand that. That's correct. You're not alone. That's correct. You're not alone on this. All of you guys, I'm so glad that, in a way, I'm really glad that you guys are there for me. I'm really glad that you guys are here for me, and I appreciate all of you. At least you guys talk to me when I need it the most. You guys are there for me. And you guys always watch my videos. And I'm very appreciative. At least I know I'm not alone with it. At least I know I'm not alone. At least I know I'm not alone with you guys. At least I know that I'm not alone. I know that if I could sit all of you guys on a big round table, we could talk about anxiety. I know I could. Because you guys have always been there. Like, when I make the most stupid videos, you guys have always been there. Like, you guys talk to me anyway. Even if you don't stay, you still say, hey, Ben, how you doing? Or nothing, you know? I'm very glad that you guys are there for me. And I will always try to be there for you. I'm not a big YouTuber. I don't have millions of views. I can only make the people who need the help happy. I make funny videos. I try to make funny videos. I try to make videos for people that need somebody to talk to, and I always try to be there for you guys. And with our anxiety disorder and our depression and all this bullcrap, all I know is that you guys are there for me, and I do appreciate it very much, and you don't understand how much I actually appreciate it. And it makes me sad to know that maybe 17 people that are viewing this thing right now have really bad anxiety, and, you know, you don't get out of the house, you don't do stuff. But I think that's the reason why a lot of people like watching my driving videos that are mentally ill, is because they don't get out of the house, but they can still see the country. They can still see the United States of America, and that's why I do my driving videos. It's because I'm one of the anxiety people that can still get out of the house, I guess, in that sense of when I'm on my lorazepam, I can still drive, and I can get out and show you guys beautiful places. I mean, like, I've taken video of Miami, I've taken video of California, I've taken video of Ohio. I wasn't able to live stream in Ohio, But of course I would if I would, but... And I know that not everybody on my channel likes my driving videos. Not everybody on my channel likes the mental hospital videos. Not everybody likes me. Not everybody likes me. I cannot make everybody happy, and it makes me sad. Like, I've tried to make everybody happy, and you can't make everybody happy, and just... I can't make everybody happy. It's impossible. I want to, but I can't. I try my hardest to make my subscribers happy. And I can't all the time because I upload random videos and they're different. They're not your normal average YouTuber channel video uploads. I sometimes like to upload videos of walls. I don't even know why. Or I upload videos of unboxing cell phones, and then I can go from uploading videos to unboxing cell phones to being in the emergency room getting an Ativan injection. That's how my channel, it twists and turns from each way, back and forth. And I just try to help people, and I don't know what to upload. I'm not a professional YouTuber. I just make videos of what I like. Sometimes I upload videos of trees and nature, and then sometimes I upload videos of me being at the ocean. Because I know that at least with my subscribers, I can at least get 2 or 3 people to view and enjoy my video. And then I know that a lot of people on my channel have agoraphobia. I have it slightly, but it's manageable with the lorazepam. So I get out and I'll go record stuff like the oceans, or when I was in Ohio, I would try to record the parks, and I would try to do all that stuff for people, and it was hard to do it in Ohio because there really is no scenery in Ohio. Or like I went to the zoo with my friend in Ohio and his mom, and I went to the zoo to record some snakes and stuff like that, so that people that have really bad agoraphobia can at least see without leaving the comfort of their home on my channel. They can see the snakes and whatever I recorded and all that drama. And I just realized that a lot of my viewers, and in my retention and my analytics, that a lot of viewers, they'll watch my 3-hour driving video. I think the reason they do it is because they don't want to leave their house. But in a way, I'm kind of coaxing them to try to leave their house, if that makes sense. I'm always saying, get out and do something no matter how bad your anxiety is. Try it, though. Like, even if you don't want to, try to get out. Try it. Just try it. If you have to just step outside a door and just for a couple of seconds, and then maybe another day, 3 seconds, and then maybe another day, 5 seconds, and then just try. Because I notice that when I get out and I'm driving a car, of course, you know, I feel comfortable because I know that I can go to a park and I can relax there, or try to relax at least. But I get really anxious even in a park. I know, that's sad. That's how our anxiety is. I'm always thinking the spider's going to bite me. There's going to be some snake that's going to attack me, or some alligator in the bushes. And there was an alligator in the bushes that tried to attack me. And that is so strange, but it did happen in the Everglades. But what I'm trying to say is, if you have anxiety disorder and you have agoraphobia, as hard as it seems, try to get out. Try at least once. And just try. Just take your medication before you do it, and try to get out. Just try it. I know it sucks, but if you have agoraphobia, just try to get out, and you'll enjoy it more, and then a little bit more, and then a little bit more. You gotta remember, this is your planet. This is where you live. This is your home. This is your home. Everything that you see belongs to you, whether you like it or not. I'm technically saying, even though somebody may own the property, you still own that tree. Everybody owns everything that you see here. They can't take the tree, but they own it. You own the tree. It's your property. You belong on this planet, and this is your home, and you're allowed to do whatever you want, in the sense of looking at stuff, seeing stuff. That is your freedom as a human being, is to see said tree. My thing about my anxiety is, my anxiety seems to get better when I chase thunderstorms. Maybe it's because I'm distracted, and I think that's what it is. Timothy, I think I remember you saying that you passed right by my house when you made a Compton video. I used to live in the hood, and I've been in the Martin Luther King Hospital 17 times in the mental ward. I don't live there anymore. I left California. Timothy, where did you live at in Compton? Now that you don't live there, you can tell me. I don't care. Matter of fact, I'm the kind of person that like to ask, where do you live? It kind of seems stalkerish, but I've always been that way. Like, I like to know what city you live in, and then I like to look it up on Google Maps and compare it to where I live now. Like, somebody told me they lived in Salt Lake City, Utah, and I looked at it, I was like, damn, this is nice. So, because of where they showed me where they lived, I took a trip out there from California all the way to Salt Lake City, Utah, and to Yellowstone Park, because I wanted to see it for myself. One person said, I live in New York City, so I started looking it up on Google Maps, and I was like, I want to go visit this place. So whenever I scrapped enough money, I went to go visit the place, and then I recorded it so that I could show people what New York City looks like. I mean, there's a lot of videos out there already of New York City, but I like to show, like, the weird parts of it, like who records them going to Area 51. Like, okay, somebody said I live near Area 51, so I got intrigued. I started watching YouTube videos on Area 51, then I got really intrigued. So I stayed at the Little Alien Inn in Rachel, Nevada to see Area 51. And when I did, I saw Area 51 and I was like, oh my God, I gotta go there. I'm only 300 miles away. So I got a rental car and I left. And I immediately went to go see Area 51. I got so intrigued just by the remoteness of Area 51 and the high-tech security things that they have in the middle of the desert. And I was like intrigued. And because I saw that, I was like, oh my God, I got to keep coming back until I get better video. So if you look at my Area 51 videos, you'll see I went in the middle of the night. That thanks to lorazepam, by the way. I would have been too anxious not to do it at night. You know what I mean, though? And think about it, though. Like, I would have been so anxious at night, I would not have been able to do it. Remember, no medical services, no cell phone service, nothing. There's nothing out there except for Area 51 is Biologic City. Come to Minneapolis. I will host you and girlfriend. Doug Way, Proving Ground. You were driving east to the airport. Are you talking about... Wait. Are you talking about Hawthorne Boulevard? No, it ain't Hawthorne, is it? No, I don't think that's Hawthorne. But, see, the problem is my anxiety disorder gets better when I drive, and it gets worse when I sit at home but doing nothing. Does that make any sense to anybody? Why does my anxiety disorder get better when I'm driving, but gets worse when I'm sitting at home doing nothing? Can anybody explain that to me? That's so weird. I'm serious. When I'm in a car, Florence, there you go. Normandy and Florence. Remember in '92 when that guy got his ass kicked by those dudes over there in Florence? I remember that. Florence and Normandy, corner of Florence and Normandy. I remember that now. Matt, you might have a point. You might actually have a point. And I think that's the point. The point is, when your mind is distracted, your mind can't obsess over the thoughts, which in turn cycles it and makes it worse. But it's only when I'm driving, because I know I have to be focused on the wheel. I know I have to be. And especially in Florida. These people drive like maniacs here, by the way. All the vibrations, bump, and focus. Yeah. Like, it's like, okay, like, you start the car, you know, you turn it on, you're like, da-da-da-da-da-da, and then it starts. And, you know, right when you hear the motor, all of a sudden, you don't, like, you turn the air conditioner on and you turn the radio on, you don't focus on the anxiety because it won't let you. It's too loud. You know what I mean? Like, you don't focus on the anxiety part. You just kind of, I don't know how you say it. But, like I said, though, it seems to work better when I'm in a car and driving. Like, my anxiety gets away from me and I take less medication. I don't need as much medication when I'm not focused on my body itself. When I am driving, right? When I'm driving, I've been getting out more since I've been on Ativan, and now I'm going to the gym. I find when it rains heavy, it relaxes me for some reason. Maybe that's a sign you should become a traveler. But I just say, like, when I love traveling. Trust me, if I had the money, I would be doing it. If I had the money, and God forbid if I ever won $1 million, that's the very first thing I would do. I would travel from Miami to New York City West, through Ohio, and through Pennsylvania, and through Indiana, and all that shit. Iowa, North Carolina, South Carolina, North Dakota, South Dakota, Arkansas, all of Texas. I would travel, I'd probably even travel through Kansas, even though Kansas was pretty boring. I would still like to travel through it. Chicago. I hunked. I shouldn't have hunked. But anyways, like I said though, that's about it. Oh. But anyways, like I said, guys, we need to find the actual cure for this disorder. We gotta find it, guys. And we gotta keep looking till we find it. I'm thinking of how we could find the cure for it. What do you think? Do you think that maybe the anxiety disorder gets better when they were filming Torment in Florence, no man, when the riots broke out? Really? I did not know that. But with the anxiety disorder, it's just kind of like, I don't know, man. Our bodies suffer every day and we don't know why. But at the same time, there's like little things there, little gems in the anxiety disorder that get better. Let me read some of these comments. Hold on. Okay, yes. I would love to become a traveler. That sounds like, that sounds like a lot of fun. But anyways, guys, I'm going to go ahead and stop this video. So, I really hope that you guys will get better by yourselves. And I hope that you guys will have a wonderful day and a wonderful evening. And I want you guys to get better. I will do other streams of me driving as usual. So, if you push the little bell icon, you'll get every notification from me. But you have to go to my YouTube channel and push the bell icon if you want to get notifications. When I start broadcasting live, you'll get your notifications. You got to push the little bell icon. There's like a bell icon on my channel. You have to go to my channel, push the bell icon. It'll tell you that you're going to receive all notifications from my channel. That's the only good way. I love driving. Go look at my channel now. I have a lot of driving videos already. I have hours of driving videos in Miami, all through the crevices and cracks of South Florida. So now you get to see what the end of the United States looks like. At the end of the United States, literally on the island, Key Largo. I didn't drive out of Key Largo, but I probably will do that later. But I don't really want to show where I live. I don't want people freaking like sending me weird shit or something. But I'll get more videos to you. And I hope you guys will push the like button occasionally. That helps a lot. That gets me going. Pushing the like button, showing that there's support, helps me a lot with my videos. And even if they're stupid videos, showing the support right there when you guys do like my videos, especially the one I made about my ex-best friend, I saw over 30 likes. I appreciate all of you guys for doing that for me. And I appreciate you guys very much. And I'm thankful. And thank you for showing your support. I will continue to try to talk to you. And I'll continue to try to help you guys with whatever I can. I mean, financially I can't. But if I ever became a millionaire, trust me, I'd have my own organization from anxiety. I'd have my own organization. And I would help people with anxiety myself. Because I'm tired of nobody helping people. The Anxiety and Depression Association of America, they suck. They don't help people with anxiety. They don't have lines to talk. They don't do nothing like that. So it would have to be me to help. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. This has been the Planet Earth here.